Morning, Bones.
Morning, Padre. Man, what's happening with the shutdown?
Well, we got a lot of news on that front. Uh, so the furloughs began today on the non-essential employees that were hired to fulfill quotas rather than being hired on merit, which was something that
Sort of a
was,
sort of a temporary position anyway, right?
well, yes and no. But those that didn't get their jobs based on merit but were put there because quotas needed to be filled. Um,
Okay.
so the furloughs did start today. Sympathies go out to those people that are caught under that circumstance. But let's look at what's going on with this shutdown and what's being uncovered. So Chuck Schumer and the Democratic Party are trying to claim that the Republicans are lying and that this has nothing to do with health care for illegals. There have been 3 or 4 political debates, and in each and every one of them, it has been proven that that's exactly what their medical plan is. Now, let me run this down for you. The big, beautiful bill cut out Medicaid for illegal immigrants. It cut out Medicaid for those people that just didn't want to work. This program was originally designed for struggling single mothers, disabled people, and the elderly. Nobody else should be on this program. And that's what the big, beautiful bill is. It cut it back down to those people being eligible. Now, the Democrats are saying we want to open it back up for those Americans in need. But opening it back up includes the illegal immigrants, and it's been proven in 3 or 4 political debates up to this point. They're hiding it all under the guise of this holdout for medical, but there are other things buried in this demand from the Democrats. Let's go over a few of them. 3 million for circumcisions and vasectomies in Zambia. 833,000 for transgender people in Nepal. 4.2 million for LGBTQ people in the Western Balkans and Uganda. 3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti.
Wow.
500,000 for electric buses in Rwanda. 6 million for media organizations for the Palestinians. 300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho, and 882,000 for social media and mentorship in Serbia.
Wow.
Uh,
How much did you say for that parade?
300,000 for a pride parade in Lesotho.
Where's Lesotho?
Never heard of it. Uh,
Uh, if you're going to put that much money into a parade, maybe I want to attend.
right, and they better pay for me to go see it. The biggest problem I have with this, Bones, is like we've uncovered in several of the other talks we've had on this budget when we were talking about Doge. The biggest issue is none of these things actually exist.
I
These
get
are
it. I get
these
it.
are all labeled NGOs or non-government organizations that are created and run by Democratic politicians as money laundering operations to filter the money right back into their pocket. Uh,
Yep, that's where the money would go.
if you were to go over to Zambia, you would find that they're not receiving money for circumcisions and vasectomies. If you were
But
to go to Lesotho, if you could find it, you'd find that there wasn't a pride parade taking place. This money's not going where they're saying, and yet these are the things that they're tacking on that they want the U.S. taxpayer to foot the bill for that are non-existent.
right.
Uh, it just blows me away, Bones. So on top of all of these things, while the Democrats are holding out and shutting down and keeping the government shut down, the Republican side, fulfilling their oath, is still at work. They're still
Nice.
having sessions. They're passing things. They are using their political power to help the American people. They're shutting down organizations that are wasteful for our tax dollars. Uh, they're busy at work. And on the other side, you have Schumer claiming that the Republicans won't come back to the table. Well, why would we come back to the table when you have the same demands and you're not going to budge? And
You're not at work doing your job. Where are you?
exactly, exactly. So in the meantime, you have furloughs taking place. They've come out and stated now that, and this is something the Republicans did a majority vote on because they have the majority. They can vote it without Democrats being present. After the shutdown, non-essential government employees will not be getting back pay. The essential employees will. They're still at work. They're still trying to do what's best for the amount of people that they can help. They're still ordering National Guard troops into these sanctuary cities that are on fire and under devastation. They're still battling on these fronts. They didn't just go home. They didn't just say, well, government shut down, we're going home.
Let's take a coffee break.
Yeah, they've continued to battle. They've continued to fulfill their oath and work for the American people. So
Thank you.
anything
Thank
else?
you.
Yeah, anything else you want to add on the shutdown news, Bones?
I mean, that pretty well covers it, but I hope people can see through the mask and see what it is actually all about. And, hopefully in the future they can change that by voting for the proper people that will fulfill their office and their oath.
Exactly. And in the meantime, news that's being covered up, a couple of quick updates. Let's go to the Ghislaine Maxwell front. Her appeal has been denied. The left has come out now trying to say that President Trump has said he's going to pardon her. The actual truth is that during a press conference, he was asked the question, will you pardon Ghislaine Maxwell? His answer was, I haven't thought about that name in a while. It's not something I've considered, and I would have to clear that and run it by the DOJ. This was twisted into
Well, that
he's going to
tells
pardon
me,
her.
yeah, that tells me Trump put it's way on the back burner, probably still on the shelf.
Probably not even something he considered.
Right. So the left takes and twists it up. So they're, in my mind, I'm thinking the theme song for the left right now ought to be Chubby Checkers. Come on, baby, let's do the twist.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
let's,
Well, that's what
just
they're
take
doing.
it up.
They're twisting it all. Also buried in the news, Gilmar Abrego Garcia's appeal and filing for asylum has been denied. Of course,
Imagine that.
his attorneys tried claiming that since he was deported and then re-entered, he was within the 1 year in the United States to be able to file that motion has been denied, claiming that's just not the way it works. So Abrego Garcia, appeal denied. He's not going to be getting his trial for amnesty. He's still facing his criminal charges and deportation. On the local front, following up on, we talked about the crime rate in Utah and some of the things that are going on here. just yesterday at a local high school. We had a 16-year-old student that school had just been released and was apparently walking home, was shot in the chest and killed. This is on the
Wow.
follow-up of a bomb threat at that same school not even a week earlier. Um, Prayers go out to the family of this young man. We don't have any information on it. I do know that as of the last time I looked, there was no suspect information. We don't know why it happened. We don't have any information on it yet. Only that a 16-year-old leaving high school was shot in the chest and killed.
Wow.
Devastating for our community.
It is. It's terrible. Um, anything like that that happens is not good at all. I feel bad. I feel bad for his family and the community. It hits home because it is close to home. You know, think about I think about, rivals between high schools and stuff when we were in school. It was all based on football, baseball, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and also there was sportsmanship and congratulations to the other schools if you lost, and recognition if you won from the other schools.
Right,
You
and
know,
and there were big games where you had your rivalries, and there were riots after the games. I mean, I guess they could be called riots. They were, large fights. Normally, they were large gatherings with 3 or 4 fights that took place. Uh,
sometimes that happened.
yeah, nobody got
Uh,
seriously injured. Uh, and to see that this is just, we don't know if this individual was targeted. Um,
or why?
Yeah, and if he
Why it
was
didn't.
targeted, why? We don't know that at this point. We don't know if it's gang related. We don't know if it was random. We have no idea at this point. But we'll follow
Our
up with
children,
that on one of our
all
next
of our
recordings.
all of our children across the Wasatch Front are fearful of going to school.
Yes, and all the schools in that area that hadn't been let out for the day were placed on lockdown until the area was secured. Uh, We know that students in a nearby junior high heard the shots, um, and children are fearful of going to school. It's not like uh, you're completely safe in the schools anymore. You have school officers or an officer at the school, but how much can one officer or 2 officers actually do, and how many places can they be at once? Um, it's a sad ordeal, and at some point we've got to figure out how to make this safe for our youth to attend school and not have to worry about being shot or jumped when they leave school or at school. Uh, so on the local crime front, there's an update of what's occurring here. Um, any other news updates that you'd like to touch on, Bones?
I I think we've covered enough for today. I'm pretty upset with the local stuff. It's hard to remain um, positive, but I'm going to search for some positive stuff inside of it. What can we do? Like you said, what can we do to improve uh, the situation in our communities? That's our
Exactly.
job.
So from PadreHavoc&Bones, there's a current update video on the shutdowns, Ghislaine Maxwell, Kilmore Abrego Garcia, and some local crime rate news. We'll follow up on what we can as the information comes in. A lot of things going on right now in the government and locally. So stay tuned and
Stay positive, everybody.